Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from UrbanDigs, and it is Monday, so you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update. John, let's get right to it. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply, 3,245. Looks like that's ticking down, Johnny. Show me the chart.
It is ticking down. It's about 1.5% lower than last week. That's the first decrease we've seen in about 6 weeks. And it's an interesting data point. I don't think it's any kind of trend yet, but it's worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting data point. Let's move on to pending, and then we'll see where we go here. Pending sales, Brooklyn came in at 3,097. That looks like it's up a little bit, but Johnny, you're the expert. Show me the chart.
It is up. It's 0.5% up, but seeing pending sales increase is always, I think, a good thing. Yeah, again, like supply numbers for Brooklyn, the pending sales number is really, it's really hard to kind of pick a trend here. It's sort of in between directions at this point.
Well, it was falling over the summer. So I mean, at some point, if that fall is going to turn into like a normalization, then go higher, I mean, that's how it starts. It's not going to be anything dramatic or anything. Just the fact that it's turning around is, I think, a positive, and that's why the pulse is starting to go up in Brooklyn. It may be too early to see it, but from what I see so far here, it looks like the active season in Brooklyn is starting to come into play. Not so much for Manhattan, but Brooklyn, yes. Let's go to the weekly, see if there's any clues there. I'm looking at supply, 291 things came on the market. That looks down just a tad. Johnny, show me the chart.
Yeah, it is down just a tad. It's almost about 3% or so. And this number has been extremely choppy over the summer. And it seems like it's kind of settled down into this range, so the upper 200s. And I guess we're going to be looking forward in the next few weeks to see how that number changes going into the holidays. We're going to see if it stays steady, we might have a bit of a supply deluge on our hands, and if we might see a decrease, in which case we might have tighter supply heading into the winter.
Yeah, I have a strange feeling it's going to be the latter. I have a strange feeling that number is going to go down as we head into November and December, but we will see. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at Brooklyn deal volume over the last 1 week, 221 contracts signed. That's up, Johnny. Show me the chart.
It is up. It's up about 2.5% from last week. And I mean, this has got to be the 5th or 6th week in a row we've seen deal volume increase in Brooklyn. We're back over the 200 level for the last 3 weeks.
Very strong.
And yeah, and you look at this chart. I mean, again, this is a very choppy chart because we're looking at weekly numbers. So it is a little bit choppy. But look at those last several weeks. I mean, we started this active season down in the upper 170s for deal volume in Brooklyn, which is not that bad. And it just rocketed right back up. So, I think if you're taking this Brooklyn market as a whole on the sales side, Noah, I'd say that it seems to be percolating a little bit more on the active side than the Manhattan market. We're seeing a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, seeing a little bit more contract signs in relation to what's coming on the market.
And I just want to point out that when you add contract signed and off market, it is now higher than supply. So we are now at a net deficit, and that's probably why supply is going down. And that's why that pulse is going up right now. So let's see where this goes. Okay, Johnny, let's take a look at the chart du jour. We're looking at the Brooklyn rental market today. And I like this look of the chart, Johnny, that you pulled up. You pulled up great data here because we're looking at rental inventory and we're looking at median price by bed count. Studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3+. But what I like is that you went and you looked at the current asking price, or asking rent, I should say, of each bed count. So we have a threshold to look at here. So right now we're looking at inventory of Brooklyn studios under 2,000. Under 2,000. And you could see, look at that rental inventory straight down. I mean, there's not much to see on price trends, but that rental inventory straight down, John, that is dramatic.
It's dramatic, and it's we're not talking about a lot of units here. I mean, this is monthly new supply, so we're looking at but it's down by over half. And so what does that lead me to think? And I think this is the same if you want to go through the 1 beds, 2 beds, 3 beds. We're looking at pretty much a very similar trend across all the bed counts. And what this tells me is that I think it's a little bit more pronounced in the studios and 1 beds, and perhaps that's because people want their own place instead of a share apartment. But this tells me a couple of things. Number one, low inventory with demand that we've seen recently is going to lead to stronger prices over the winter into the spring. And the second one is if you're out there trying to find a deal and you're just kind of looking at rough price guidelines to find apartments, you might, as a consumer, you might be looking around saying, where are all the apartments go? And I'm telling you right now, it's not just you. They're just not coming to market right now.
Yeah, and that's the point of showing these charts. And here is 1 bedrooms for 2,500 and under. And, look at this chart, John, over here. If you could just point right over here at this point, that led to ultimately this. right? So, you squeeze that inventory down, that price tends to go up a little bit until something blows off some steam or something and the pressure cools. Same thing for 2 bedrooms. Here's 2 bedrooms at 27 or under, $2,700 a month and under. Look at that inventory. We actually see a slight bump up in the trend for median asking rents in the 2-bedroom market. And finally, in the 3-bedroom market, again, here you go. If there's one consistent theme across all of these, is that inventory is just down across the board.
Yeah, and it's down by almost like an order of magnitude for each bed count. So that's something to really keep an eye on heading into the next the next busy season, and see how that affects prices.
Yeah, the next cycle. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. I want to see what this chart looks like in another month or so. It's probably going to be very different, but we will see. I don't know, hopefully on that inventory side. Thank you, Johnny, for pulling up all these charts. That is John Walkup. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both from UrbanDigs. If you guys got questions, we got answers. Don't forget about our forum right down here. But until then, this has been your Brooklyn Weekly Market Update, and we'll catch you next time.